Hello everyone and welcome to Gearhead Entertainment. Today is Sundays with Steve and we're going to be playing A Long Way From Home on Ludicrous. Now, if you were here for last time, you remember that we were playing as AoMR. So essentially what's happened is Arcantos has freed the sleeping guardian and escorted an Osiris piece to a nearby city, but the city was controlled by Set, and so he was betrayed, captured, thrown in jail with Ajax and Chiron. AoMR breaks them out, and they recover the Osiris piece. That's 1 out of 4. Then Arcantos has a bad dream, which essentially tells him that he needs to stop Gargarensis from opening the Titan gates. And in Egypt, the way to do that is to reunite all 4 Osiris pieces and bring Osiris back to life. So the group splits up. AoMR has 1 mission, we've already done that, and now we're in the Chiron mission. The next one will be Arcantos and Ajax, and that is one of my favorites in the entire campaign. Contrast with this one, this is my least favorite. So we do get our first introduction to the Norse, so that's kind of interesting. Essentially, Gargarensis has been causing troubles up north as well, and these guys have been pursuing him down south. Now I'm just going to say right now, the game does give you the advantage to play on different speeds. You want to play this on normal. I tried playing it on sped up version, and essentially what happens is you lose track of your villagers, which can happen when you're playing on sped up versions, but this level is just so tightly done that you have no room for error. So what I'm going to do, a couple farms over in here in the corner, I'm going to use 1 ox cart, so this is a universal drop site, and then I'm going to create 2 obelisks, or 2 monuments, I'm sorry. The monuments are to generate me favor because we're going to need myth units early and often. We're going to take our main army here, and I've been training priests. I trained 5 from the temple, 5 from the town center, and we're going to send them down with Chiron. And essentially there's these temples throughout the map. They're owned by Gaia, and they send mummies at you periodically. There's one right nearby off to the right. There's also one down to the south. I'm going to deal with the one to the south first. Essentially, you got to be very careful when dealing with these because they have mummies, and mummies are a mythic age myth unit, and we're in the classical age, so already we're at a disadvantage. But they hit you with sort of pestilence, which can convert non-hero units into minions, and it can really mess you up. So we need the priests drop myth units. Now the other thing is, so we're going to take our starting army, we're going to hit the temple, and they should be able to drop it pretty quickly with a caveat. They're going to train mummies every now and then, and once you get the temple to a certain percentage, as you can see, they spawn an ancestor's god power on you. So this is why we need the priests. The priests are going to kill the ancestors, otherwise they would shred our units. It used to be a so-so god power that you could combine with Eclipse to do some serious damage, but now that we're in Retold, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it is just, they've been buffed. So you can see I looked away for a little bit, and now some of our units have been hit by this curse. Now, it's not a guarantee that they'll turn into mummies. If they can survive the curse, they don't turn them into mummies, but it does a lot of damage, and it does divine damage, which is, basically it ignores armor. Also, when you drop those temples, it spawns 2 scarabs, as you can see, which aren't terrible. They're siege units, so they're not going to do a ton to our units, but when they explode, they die in a puff of blood, or an explosion of blood that ends up absolutely decimating our units. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth. I'm trying to get my farms up and running in the corner here. This corner is a little bit out of the way. I did not mean to build a house there, but it's fine. We'll put the house down. We've got an ox cart. I need the population anyways. Anyway, that's about as far out of the way as we can get our farms without getting them attacked. And we are going to get attacked very, very quickly. So now that we've cleared out this temple, and there's a reason I did that one first, it's because it's right next to a gold mine, and gold is pretty scarce on this map. I'm going to go take a villager, and I'm going to go have him start on a villager center. And we're going to train villagers from that villager center in order to start mining gold. I've also trained 3 more from the town center. They're going to rush down, and they're going to go ahead and go mine gold. Let's see, we're going to do the same thing with this temple that we did with the last one. When I said it was close, I meant it was close. So, there's no mummies yet, but we're going to put them in position. And I don't know why this axeman was in with our heroes, but let's move our army down around behind the temple. And I've got an ox cart over in the corner because I'm scouting out a gold mine. So our main army is going to start attacking, and as soon as that ancestors drops, you want to move them out of the way. And get your priests a little bit back. Yeah, I might even be a little bit late getting them out. But at any rate, you want your priests a little bit back so that they're focus more on the ancestors than on your main army. Yeah, no, it's just ugly. There's no getting around it. It's ugly. The ancestors has been buffed, and so you kind of have to wait until it's done before you can attack. And in the meantime, we're already getting attacked, and this is only going to get more and more brutal. You will hit a point where it kind of plateaus, but it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, so just understand that. Our main army should be able to mop up these guys for now, but this is probably the last attack that they're going to be able to survive before we need to train new units, which is why I am really trying to get this temple taken care of. Come on, finish off these guys real quick. This is an incredibly hard level. This might be the most difficult level in the campaign. If not, it's close. So if this takes you multiple times, don't feel bad. Save early and often. This took me multiple playthroughs on my playtesting, just so you feel better. You know, this is a hard one. It's always been a hard one, and I think it's even harder now in Retold. So we're probably going to lose a couple of these axemen as... Yeah, I think I already lost a couple. So when they die, they spawn a minion. Minions die pretty quick to priests, which is nice, but it's just it's rough. All right, let's get our heroes to take out these scarabs. And I will say one slight advantage you have is when you destroy these temples, you do get a little bit extra food and gold. Let's delete that. That was an unfortunate placement, but it's fine. Okay, let's get everybody back over here. So I got 10 farms. That's a good start. You guys need to stop harvesting wood and start harvesting gold, please. So the idea of the priest is I'm going to go ahead and try and buff my gold mine. That should increase the amount of gold, or the speed at which I'm harvesting gold. Because we're playing as Ra, we can empower monuments, and the empowered monuments empower everything around them, which is why I've got my pharaoh empowering a monument near my farms. It will hopefully empower my farms. I might have to build a granary nearby to take full advantage of it, but that's the idea. Let's go ahead and right-click on that, auto-train our villagers. I'd like to get a lot. I mean, let's start with 10, but you know, I'd like to get 10 to 20. I want to not have to worry about resources, and at least for the time being, as long as that gold mine lasts, I won't have to. Let's go ahead. I'm having my pharaoh empower the town center at the moment because I need those villagers out faster. The priests are more than capable of empowering monuments. Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave that priest on the villager center. He can empower there. Yeah, there's just a lot that happens very quickly in this level, so you just got to be ready for it. And there's the mummies. So those mummies will attack us as long as there are temples on the map. And there are going to be temples for a while. Try and keep your main units away from the mummies. The last thing you need is more minions. You already have kind of precious few of the normal units. And I'm kind of bum rushing the heroic age. There's a reason for that. It's because of Petsukos. So these guys kind of saved our bacon in the light sleeper map where we were trying to wake the guardian. And they're going to do the same here. They do a lot of divine damage, which means that, like I said earlier, they ignore armor. We're going to need that. Let's go ahead and build a house. Okay, goodness. Have the pharaoh empower over here. We really want to be making taking full advantage of our empowerment. And let's go ahead and get stone walls, because these walls are going to keep you alive. So let's get our walls built, and let's get as many of these Petsukos as we can. Part of that is going to come from building as many of these houses. We're going to need the extra population quickly. I'm just throwing them down. Is it the most efficient use of our time? No, but it's what we're doing. And again, let's have the pharaoh empower this. It should build faster, and then once it's built, it will empower everything around it at about a 60% empowerment rate. Ooh-wee. Okay, come on. Leave the villager alone. That was rude. But you see, we've got basic walls, and already that's buying us time, and that's the name of the game. We need time. Use your main units, if at all possible, to take out the priests. Your Petsukos can take out everything else. But you see, those priests are absolutely shredding our Petsukos, and we don't have them any to spare. So, kill the priests as quickly as possible. Oy vey. Oh man, this is rough. This is just a really difficult map, okay? So, just bear that in mind. The more of these Petsukos we get, the better shape we'll be. There are some points in this campaign where you are kind of just forced into one choice. I feel like in Light Sleeper, Petsukos were the option. You have to go through Hot 4. I mean, ideally you should be able to do it with Sekhmet with the Scarabs, but for whatever reason, it's just impossible to carve your way through without those Petsukos. So that was just an instance where we kind of needed, we had one option and we had to go with it. You are going to need a wall off on both sides, by the way, because they're going to come from all different directions. This is another level where I think you really are kind of pigeonholed into Petsukos. Mythic Age, I don't think it matters as much, but in the Heroic Age, you need Petsukos. They are going to keep you alive. I mean, if we had access to Mythic Age myth units, like if I were rocking Mummies or Horus Avengers, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But given that we don't get those for a bit, we are going to need these crocodiles. Oh boy, okay. Have them repair the walls. Keeping the walls in good repair is going to be critical. Once they're done building the wall over here, let's build down there. Let's have that priest in power. Ideally, I think I'm going to try and keep these priests in separate armies at some point. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So now when I press the 1 hotkey, I get the army of actual fighters, and when I press the 2 hotkey, I'm going to get the I'm going to get the selection of preset and power stuff. So let's go ahead and get a full 20 on gold mines, and then I want to go ahead and build a wall that kind of blocks off our current. Don't mind my cat. I want to get a wall that blocks off our current villager center, and the reason is I want to place a market over there and just run a caravan back and forth between that market and our town center. Let's go ahead. I did not mean to spin the screen there. Let's go ahead and build another temple. More production is always better. Now, we are also... Okay, see, that's an early warning. I did not intend for that to be an early warning, but that was an early warning. So let's move our army a little bit towards the right, because we know that's where the attack's going to come from. I want to get a barracks. More production, always better. So, oh goodness, we probably don't have time to finish this wall, but let's get as much of it built as we can. The idea is to funnel them as much as possible. I love choke points. This is a map where you do not want a choke point. This is a map where you really just want to have a wall. And we're just going to trust the fact that our strong walls will be able to stop them. For right now, we're rocking stone walls. Eventually we'll get fortified and then citadel walls, and those will be a huge help. Oh, goodness. Okay. Gotta kill these priests faster. Please, focus the priests. If we drop the priests, nothing else is really an issue. You see, our crocodiles are they're just absolutely shredding, so not a huge issue as long as we keep the crocodiles alive, and that just means we have to target priests. When you go to build this wall, by the way, you're going to deal with crocodiles. Let's go ahead and get fortified stone walls. Clearly, I have more villagers on gold than I intended. We're going to take the spares. Now is a good time. Let's get the extra... Come on. I'm just going to have to get the extra one on its own. But now is a good time to start building that wall. Actually, let's get those guys on wood. I said I'm going to build a wall, and I do need to build a wall, but I also need wood. Because right now, we have nobody harvesting wood, and we're going to need that. It's not as critical for Egypt, but it is pretty darn important. So, let's go ahead and get some wood production going. Let's build a lumber camp. Wall that off, please. The extra health for the walls is going to be huge. Once we get about 10 on wood, that's probably when I'll build the wall. We're going to need the caravans. That's non-negotiable. There are other gold mines, which we will take advantage of. We're going to have to transition to them at some point. But I can't have portions of time where I just have no gold production. That's not an option. Let's go ahead and build this here. And I want to start getting more food online. Let's delete that. So sometimes, it's not been as big of an issue I've noticed, but sometimes when you start putting in a new marketplace, your caravans can get confused and they'll go to the old marketplace. And the last thing we want is them running like 3 feet back and forth. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and have you that way. Or Petsukos. We got 10. Okay, that should be a good amount. I'm going to keep training them because we'll get as many as we can get. But right now, with 10 Petsukos, we've got about all we're going to need. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm going to get... Again, I'm kind of short on wood and gold, but let's get some chariot archers. The chariot archers are actually pretty strong. As long as, strong as long as nothing gets too close. So I want to get plenty of those because we're going to need good range. The idea is we want that wall as a shield, and we want everything hitting as much as we can behind the wall. One bit of good news that you might like for this level is I have not found... So this little section with our villager center, I have not had them attack that yet. Now, I have not lost my main base. I guarantee you, if you lose your main base, they will press for that villager center. But, at least for the time being, I haven't had the issue of them harassing my caravans, harassing my villagers down there. So that is an area where we can just kind of have everything behind our walls and be just fine. There's 7 villagers, 2, 3, 4... yeah, I'm 3 short. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You guys harvest some wood over here. Okay, see, our Petsukos are kind of getting caught up on our temple, which is not ideal, but they're also not getting hit by priests, which is ideal. So, you win some, you lose some. Oh, again, don't mind my cat. So they probably will tear down your wall a couple of times. It's not a big deal. You'll just have to rebuild it here and there, but don't worry about it too much. It's there to slow them down. You get a bunch of range units behind the wall. You get a bunch of Petsukos. You'll be all right. Okay. Jeez, it's just a lot. It is a lot. I have like next to no resources of any kind. That is lovely. Okay, I do have 8 caravans coming though, so we'll start to get a little gold. We're not going to get a ton because they're just too close. We might get, I don't know, in the neighborhood of 25, 30, but we're not going to get a ton, at least not off the bat. Let's stop training the Petsukos. We don't need them. Let's have you guys repair the wall wherever you can. Repair the town center. It's just a beast of a level. If I seem like I'm on edge, I am. We're starting to stabilize, so that's good. You can kind of feel it when you're starting to get your act together in a level. It can still kind of throw a curveball and completely ruin your day, but at the moment, I think we're all right. Let's go ahead and sell some wood. You guys can get started mining. They might die. Just bear in mind, they might die. They're outside our walls. They're a prime target. Go ahead and build that farm. Harvest some wood. Yeah, 25 gold. So we're not getting a ton. We're just going to have to work with it, and we're going to have to make up for our lack of gold per run with extra cannibals. Let's go ahead and get mine shafts. Many upgrades as we can to get better resources. We don't need that priest over there. Let's bring him to the main army. I'm going to start buying upgrades now. We have the time. We have... let's see. Let's get her to turn that in. She's just kind of blending in with the rest of the army. I would like another Migdol over to the right. Let's go ahead and save, by the way. We are stable. The last thing I want is to completely lose all of that progress. So let's go ahead. Okay. Let's have her build this wall. I want a little bit to slow down. See, just like that. Let's get these guys out of here. We're probably going to lose a lot, and I hate losing them while they're carrying gold. I'll use the pestilence to slow them down. We're going to lose a few. One thing you can do, if you've got an army chasing your villagers like this. Okay, one thing you can do is put in a gate. The other thing you can do is you can do a sacrificial lamb. So you might lose 1 or 2 villagers, but if you have the 1 villager turn back and face the army, then the other 7 or 8 running from the army are usually fine. So that is an option. Let's see. We do have a good amount of Petsukos. That's good. Let's see if they can focus the priests, because those priests are going to shred our units otherwise. I'm probably going to need more priests eventually. And that Petsukos, oh, God. I wanted him behind the wall until he walks in front of the wall. It's just lovely. But just look how fast that army got dropped. See, that's why we use them. Let's train a few more. Let's get the Petsukos upgrade. You guys have gotten all the wood you're going to get from here. There is more lumber off to the left, so we're going to focus on that. Oh man, it's just crazy. It is crazy. And they're going to start hitting you with more and more as you go. Let's take some of these villagers, repair the walls. Let's get some more caravans. Ignore the huntables. They're tempting, but I don't need them. I'm going to cast the Rain God power, get a little spike in food. That's about the only resource where we have a decent amount of income at the moment. So I want to buff that. We have more wood than food, but that's going to stop being the case at some point. Let's group up an army. It's hard to tell exactly where they come from. They tend to alternate left-right, but it's not like a 1-to-1 thing. It's like 2-3 right, maybe 1 left, you know, or 2-3 left, maybe 1 right. It just kind of, they like to keep you on your toes on this level. This is always a difficult level because there's just no resources around. I mean, you can see there's a dearth of trees. There's virtually no trees. The gold mines are very spread out. There's not a ton of huntables. You have to transition to farms very quickly. So, I mean, that's just part of what makes this level really difficult, is you have to manage your resources very well, and you're dealing with heavy hitters early and often, and it's just very difficult. Let's see here. Cannot get that upgrade. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go with Horus. You can go either way, but I really love these Horus Avengers. A group of mummies is really good too, but one of the advantages of the Horus Avengers is they cost food. I think the mummies cost gold. It's either wood or gold. It was wood in the original. I think they changed it to gold. Either way, not a resource we're exactly rolling in, whereas food, we're going to have plenty of that. So that's kind of part of the decision making there. The tornadoes will be useful. Maybe not quite as useful as the Son of Osiris, but we'll be all right. So this is another thing I should point out. This level is a play the objective level, because the enemy does actually have a pretty substantial camp on the other side of the river. And, you know, you might think, okay, well, let's go ahead and take out that camp so I can cut down the Tamarisk Tree unimpeded. Let's move these guys, because clearly they're moving in from the right or from the left on this go round. I've done that before in other game modes. In fact, I think in the original, when I was playing this on Titan, I think I ended up, let's go ahead and move them over this way. Probably try and keep them behind the wall, but it's good to know they're going to come from the left. I think in the original one, in the original Age of Mythology, I think I went across the river and took out their entire camp. And I'm here to tell you, this, in Retold, it's just not feasible, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get to the point where we're in the Mythic Age, where we're stable, where we've got a good army, and then we're just going to chop down the tree. And as soon as you chop down the tree, you win the level. So that's really, I mean, that's all you have to do, which is good because the amount of troops that they throw at you is outrageous. It is criminal how many troops they send at you. And there's the army. There is the army. Yeah, see, they're going to take down that wall really quick. Now that they're in the Mythic Age, they've got siege that they're bringing in early and often. So they're gonna drop that wall. You don't have to worry about it. Your army will be able to take care of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop Eclipse anyways, just because it'll buff our Petsukos. But just bear in mind that's the sort of thing you're going to be dealing with is heavy siege. I was going to have these guys repair the walls, but we got spare villagers, and priests are actually pretty weak. So I'm going to have our villagers attack the priests. Or at least I'm going to try. They may not do it very well. Please kill the priests. Alright, let's have them repair the walls. Actually, let's drop a temple first. We're going to need to make sure that we can train more Petsukos. I don't think we lost a ton, but we can't afford to be without production of our myth units. And when that Mythic Age hits, I want my free Horus Avenger, and so we need the temple for that. If I can get my villagers. Come on. Let's go ahead. Oh, and some mummies. Let's go ahead and kill those guys real quick before they go too crazy. Fortunately, our priests will keep everything alive. We'll go ahead and get our last monument. It's close enough I can empower most things, and most importantly, it'll give me more favor. Ideally, you will have a priest on every single monument, and that will buff your favor income. Or at least it should. Oh boy, okay. We do have our Horus Avenger, so that's good. Let's get 2 Petsukos. And I want to go ahead and get Architects. I don't remember getting 2 Horus Avengers, but I'll take it. Let's repair the existing walls, and then I'll build new walls on top. Whew. There is a relic that I haven't picked up. Actually, there's a couple of relics I haven't picked up. So if you have the time, you know, you might go grab them. It could be worth it. It's not strictly necessary. It's just, you know, it's helpful but not necessary. Okay. Now that we're in the Mythic Age, we are a lot more stable. So that's good. Just by virtue of being in the Mythic Age, things are going to be easier for us. Let's go ahead and build a siege works. We're going to need it. And we're going to be running out of gold soon. Yep, just right on cue. So there is another gold mine over this way. I want to be able to take possession of it eventually. For right now, though, I want to use my villagers to scout some things out. And let's go ahead and save. Again, whenever you start to get stable, save. Because things can go belly up very quickly. We're getting attacked from the left. Again. So our Horus Avengers... Oh, let's go ahead and make Citadel walls. That'll help us a lot. So these Horus Avengers shred units. That's why I want them. See, they've got a big army, and that army is shrinking fast. War Elephants are a really good unit, and look how quickly they're dying. Okay, let's move these guys forward. So there is a temple over here. I just kind of want to get a sense of where it is. Let's kill these priests real quick first. We need more Horus Avengers. Probably need a couple more priests, to be honest with you. Especially since the one on our Monument to the Gods is no longer there. Oh, come on. I'm going to go ahead and drop a tornado over here. Hopefully that drops the temple. I feel like tornadoes got nerfed, so I'm going to go ahead and build a siege works. And the idea for the siege works... Oh, there's their siege engines right on time. I'm going to hopefully build a couple of catapults and take out the temple at a range without provoking their entire army. Okay. Whew. I need wood production at some point. I've just been completely driven off of wood production. Fortunately, as Egypt... Ooh, I'm sorry, ignore that. Fortunately, as Egypt, it's not as critical, but man. You can kind of see how crazy it's been. This, you know, I mean, it's ludicrous. You get that, but it's just outrageous. Okay, let's buy a little bit more wood. Should be enough. Let's go ahead and get engineers. I think, yeah, that increases damage and range. Whew, okay. I wanna make more farms because food is probably the only resource that we're going to have in abundance. Of course, if I could build a wonder, then we'd have favor in abundance, and I could just pump out Horus Avengers, but no. Okay, so they'll build the granary, and then all who can will be on farms. These Petsukos are still doing their job. Horus Avengers are getting a little caught up, but a lot of them are doing their job too. They're going to get dropped fast by priests. They're glass cannons, so just bear that in mind. The Migdol will help us a little bit. Let's just get more camels. If I can get like 30 camels, that'll help. And see, because we have no wood production, I have to actually go buy some in order to train camels. That's how crazy it is. Alright. But we got our catapults. That'll take down the temple and maybe even that barracks. They shouldn't rebuild the barracks, but they've got enough farther back that it's actually not going to be an issue. Let's build some walls. Okay, can we I think I'll be able to take down that barracks. Now, this will, yep, it's going to provoke an attack, but I think I can still drop it. Yeah, I think I got it. I think that did it. Okay, so we built that wall pretty quickly. Hopefully I can save some of these villagers. You know what? No. Yeah. Hopefully I can get my wood production is what I mean, but I'm gonna need the population for the time being. We'll probably just have to trade for wood for now. I got 6 more training. That's good. Good. It's 25 each go, so I mean that's actually a respectable amount, but or at least compared to mining. I think mining gives you like 30. But it's not as good as it could be. It's just as good as I can manage on this map. Let's get an army built up. So what I want to do, I want to push towards the Tamarisk, okay? And the idea is to kind of soften up their defenses around the Tamarisk, and then I'm going to take a bunch of villagers, and I'm going to try and drop it as quickly as possible. I might have to go get a town center first, just so I have enough population. It's just this map is so rough. You're limited by everything. I mean, food's not so bad now that we've got our infinite supply from our farms, but it took a while to get started, and even now I'm at 3,000, which is not really all that much. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move everybody up to where that barracks is. And that should, like, if I can take out that one barracks, that'll help a lot. That tree. Let's put in a gate just in case we need it. Now, I do not want... Let's go ahead and save. I don't want to push the whole way. I don't want to push the whole way. The idea is just not draw aggro too much. You know what? Forget it. That army is really big. I want to be behind the walls for this. The catapults can do what they do. We're just going to push. We're just going to full send it. Catapults can buy time. Everybody else, let's stay back until they push with your army. Our units are behind the wall. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to go for it. I don't think I need... I don't think I'm going to need too much longer. Let's deal with this army. And let's go for the Tamarisk. Let's go ahead and buy fortifications. I've been sitting on that one for a while. I'll get some spearmen, because I'm tired of dealing with these elephants. Alright, drop these priests, please. Alright, let's push forward with our army. So here's what I'm going to do. All the villagers we get. Let's group up the spearmen with the main army. Let's push them forward. These guys are going to protect our villagers. Our villagers, I want to build one more temple just for production's sake, if we need more production. And then I want to have them start attacking that Tamarisk. It's only got 5,000 health. It used to be, I think, like 25,000? I think it used to be a lot more. They've made that part a little bit easier. Or it might be 25,000 wood and 5,000 health. That might be what I'm thinking. Either way, I think we're in the final stretch, so let's just go ahead and chop down this tree. And as many of our army as we can keep around the Tamarisk, the better, because our units, our villagers, are going to keep being pushed off the Tamarisk unless we can protect it. So, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's get 5 of these Petsukos trained up. Let's get the spearmen over there. Villagers can go chop down the tree. Now, I think they drop serpents on you at some point. Yeah, see, we got serpents attacking our villagers, but I think the Petsukos will be able to deal with them. Whew. Let's just right-click, auto-train villagers. That tree's starting to go. I think any minute now we should have it. See, this is what we deal with, though. See, that entire army is coming over the hill to push us. Let's get some camels. Why not? You know what? Camels, elephants, anything. Let's just throw the kitchen sink at these guys. And villagers, keep chopping that tree. It's almost down. Almost down. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, there it is. There it is. Oh god, this level's terrible. It's terrible on so many levels. But we're done. So, that is the Chiron mission. Next time, we will be working on the Arcantos and Ajax mission, and that is one of my personal favorites. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.